I don't know if anybody's going to watch this video, but it's fine. Today's like the hottest day of the year in Oregon, and this time in Oregon, it does feel like a big oven outside, or even in this space. But today's my guest is Julie Ann Guthrie-Smulson, and has a channel that is spiritual
alchemy.
Spiritual alchemy.
Spiritual
Yeah.
alchemy energy.
All right, spiritual alchemy energy, and Julianne here has a very fascinating life, and she has a lot of different gifts of the spirit that she indulges in, and she's going to talk a little bit about her journey. But but one of the things that when I was like looking at her channel description that really fascinated me was the whole remote viewing thing, because remote viewing is one of those things that I find really fascinating. I'm not quite sure how it's done, how a person experiences it, but I had first run across remote viewing on the Art Bell show like in the 90s. And then there's like this one remote viewer that I listened to. He came on this, I can't remember the something soul, next level soul podcast, which I started following when it was 50,000 subs, and now it's like 2 or 3 million subs. And just in just like 3 years, the thing just exploded. But this one guy, I guess he's from Washington, Schwartz, I think is his name, and he talked about remote viewing the future, and then seeing what the future of the United States was going to be like in like 10 years from now. And I always thought that was fascinating. I think, gosh, I wonder if I could get that guy on. But maybe Julianne, have you like remote viewed the future or anything or else, or how do you what kind of things do you remote view, or when you do remote view, what do you do?
Okay, first off, I'm a healer. Can you hear me?
It's a little bit hard to hear, so you need to speak up a little bit.
Okay, I'm blocking. Um, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a healer, and the first time I did Reiki, I was living in Tahoe, like distance Reiki. I did Reiki a lot before that, but this was distance Reiki, and I was working on someone in Modesto, and so that's like over 100 miles away. And I knew this person, and I had never, I, I went to high school with them, but I hadn't seen them or talked to them up until that point. And I was tapping into their energy. Like I made myself a a human out of pillows. So it's like I was working on the pillows as like I was working on her. But as I was doing this, I was finding I was like seeing her. I was picking up like emotions and stuff off of her, and like I could see her face. It was wild. And I was like, oh my God, I can remote view. That was my first experience. And then after that, I had my own podcast for a while, and um, started doing readings online, and had people come into the show, and they're like, hey, can you see if there's a ghost in my place? I'm like, okay. And so I just like tapped in with who was on my guest on the show, and I tapped into it, and we could see things going on. Like it's wild. So I don't like do remote viewing like you're taught to do remote viewing. I'm just able to do it.
Hmm.
It's
So essentially, what you are remote viewing, you're viewing right into the present sense, into the right now,
so
or
I do a lot of
maybe.
I do different remote viewing. Bill, it's like how I see this, it's all energy.
Yeah,
It's all energy. I After that, because I met people through those experiences, I started doing paranormal investigations for remote viewing. And so I got a lot of experience doing that. Then I started remote viewing the past, like the Sumerian tablets. You know what those are?
yeah, I know what they are.
They're the round
Yeah,
tablets of like, so I remote viewed back into, because I do this like when I have clients, I will remote view back to their trauma and go, this is what I saw, and tell them what I saw in their trauma. And so I saw how the Sumerian map was made.
I see.
So that was really cool.
Huh.
And then like I can see like different layers, so to speak, different layers of time. They're all like stacked. It's all energy. Like, you know how Einstein said, well, he's the one that said this, but others have worked on the theory of relativity. Everything is happening all at once, right? Time is
Hmm.
linear. And so, like, how I see energy that way in remote viewing is like a 3D map.
Yeah, because I've like had this insight when I was like I had my a lot of these experiences when I was younger, and I went to the Holy Land, and then my consciousness was exploded in that space. For some reason, of that space was super energetic for the because it was like the I was in Israel for like 21 days, and it was like a compounding effect, and then it was just like all this spiritual energy that was there. Now I don't know if it was because of something that came in and changed that, or was it like just the years of people that gave that space energy. So like I I do kind of I come from a Lutheran Catholic background, and I don't know what I was going with that, but those are the images that the mythology that I have sort of followed in my life. And but whether there actually was a Jesus person or not, I'm not so sure about. But I do sense that it doesn't matter, because there was the mythology and all of that, and people have given all that mythology energy,
Mm-hmm.
and it came into this world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like the atheist Richard Carrier who saw that in his analysis, he thought that the first incursion of this Jesus energy in our reality happened when Paul had a vision of this Jesus person on the road to Damascus, and that was the first. Because in some of these scholars, their research, they when they look for the historical Jesus, they can't find it. They can't find any evidence that there actually was a historical Jesus. But then there was a point in time with this Jesus guy appeared into into the historical context. And so they think, well, the first incursion was to Paul having this vision. And so then you also had the whole the whole Gnostic sects that had this belief that the entire saga of Jesus, from the birth to the death, all occurred in the heavenly realms. And so those are thoughts that were in existence all the way up until like the third century. Now, I guess what I'm trying to get, I don't know what I'm getting at, but what I was getting at here is that you had all this energy that people through the years put into this space that caused it just changed the the whole landscape of that spot energetically. Just
I see it as like energetic imprints
hmm
because I didn't know. Like, for example, I was remote viewing the Thomas House in Tennessee.
yeah.
My team was there, and I was in Tahoe or Reno, probably Reno. And like, why am I seeing Elvis? Why do I see Elvis? Because I channel
hmm
apparent, and then I'm like, was Elvis there? It's like, did Elvis go there? They're like, we don't know. So the next day they were still there, and we were doing an investigation again. And they're like, yeah, Elvis had been here. He dated someone. And then I'm like, oh, I see the parties they went to.
Oh.
So yeah, so I can see stuff like that. But when I was doing the Thomas house too, they'd go outside. And so when they're outside, I tap in, and it seemed like long ago because I'm like, it seems like there's like this big river right there, and there's a big boat. It's a big ship, like right there, and there's no water there to have a ship there that big.
hmm
So it had to have been a ship from like 400 years before.
Yeah.
So I never researched it to see if like maybe the river went that far out there. And
Hmm.
topography changes over time. So
It does. So then, like ghosts,
ghosts.
are they like spirits that are trapped here, or are they just like echoes of the energy that once was here? So it'd be like these are like then maybe the souls have moved on, and then they've moved on, and they've gone on and they're in another life someplace here and there, but yet there's still a energy impression that this person was once here and is about there. Hello, Lila, Fatima, Maria, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
And
Thanks for
and
coming.
Angie Burke was the other one that too. Yeah.
Okay. You're asking about ghosts. So ghosts, they're actually consciousness. So energy and consciousness to me is interchangeable.
Yeah.
Be- because well, somebody told me that the thing I see, because I'll tell you what I see, especially at um there's a medical building. It's like an old hospital in Tennessee that they do, and I see like a black fog moving around.
Yeah.
And it's moving around with intent. So it has consciousness, right?
hmm
It's moving from one spot to another, and it likes to be in this one particular spot. And somebody told me it's called something, I don't know what it is, but it's really creepy. The ghosts I've seen, I started seeing ghosts that I can remember now at 6 years old. And so that was my great grandfather. I didn't see him per se. I knew he was there. I
hmm
knew I could sense him. I could feel him there. And I was in his room, and like he's not alive anymore. So it was a weird experience. Anyways, scared the crap out of me at 6. But having worked in this realm and knowing that, I know like they're just body challenged and they can go anywhere. Like some of the experiences, like my grandfather, he like built himself a purgatory, so he was stuck. He couldn't cross over.
Mhm.
My other great grandfather on my other side, he stayed here, and it was intentional. Some don't cross over. It's
I
up to
see.
them. It's up to them what they want to do. So, and some of them don't know. Like the medical building had been an insane asylum to an extent, and so that's why you have residuals there, is because they don't know they're dead.
Yeah.
Some of them, like the energy is so thick, like because they're in such agony or pain of something, or
Hmm.
they're not mentally inclined to move on.
Hmm.
It's different for everyone.
I see. Because I was like, one of the YouTubers I follow is Cash Peters. No one seems to have heard of him or like the Next Level Soul guy. But Cash Peters is does like he's like this empath that does
Mhm.
crossover pictures of people and other energy things like the energy of different things. And so there's like and usually a lot of like people who'd been in the news and bigger figures, and there's like some of them, and I'm not going to mention the name, but he's like in everything into politics today, but he's like he like died in prison. And
Mm.
he can't, he can't see that the guy didn't cross over. He's still like running around. And but they said he's, he talks about this person and thinking, well, he doesn't he doesn't his whatever doesn't behave like everyone else does, because it's like, yeah, we know he's dead, but he's
Well,
not behaving as though he is dead. He's behaving as though he's still alive.
they're just body challenged. It's like
Yeah.
my relatives are around me trying to take care of me. I'm just like, they just need to leave.
Hmm.
And I don't know. Um, I had some celebrities play a joke on me from the other
Yeah.
side. I don't know. It's pretty like, did that really happen? Like, did that seriously just happen? I'm by myself. I'm the only
Hmm.
psychic in the room. What's
Hmm.
going on, man?
Yeah.
Like, I can't make that shit up myself. I've done a lot of channeling too. So that was part of I was doing a lot of channeling at that time. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, so I like would swear up and down that my father has incarnated back in, and I have narrowed it down to two people, because there are two people who I think that it's either both of them are people that I'm related to,
Was he
because
somewhat bald and thin?
no, he's not bald.
It was a bald?
No, well, I mean, I have more hair than he had. My father, uh. he passed in a car accident in 2012,
Oh,
and I
I'm
had a
sorry.
dream. I had a dream a few years ago, and so my is that in a dream, he said, "Well, I had to leave because there was another job I needed to go do," and so that's essentially what he said, and it kind of thought, because it was like either and so there's two possible. I think, because I know that people tend to cycle through in the same family lines, that there's a tendency for that to happen sometimes. But the one of the youngsters in the family has a lot of the same traits, like
Mm-hmm.
being being like a mathematical genius, and being and also the level of ADHD, the hyperactive attention deficit disorder, is also kind of like almost the same as well, and so forth. And so that was kind of like something that I had they had strong feelings on. But
It's very possible, but I feel like he's still there with you.
oh,
And it's very possible because this blew my mind. I'm like, I cannot wrap my head around this. So, in this so-called lifetime that you and I are living, this timeline, we can have um multiple incarnations simultaneously.
oh, I know that, and so that's kind of that's why in a sense that um there's a person that I've had run-ins with who actually sought me out on YouTube, not YouTube, but Facebook a few years ago. He has the same name as me. He's 20 years younger. He looks exactly like how I looked 20 years ago,
Mm.
except he's nuts. He's like the nuts version of me. And then have some of the same skills, like poetry and everything else. And it's like I have like so close to like completely blocked him, but for some reason I have a hard time blocking people. But it's just like I don't want it's just because it's just like something. It's like, oh man, it's like, oh geez, not another gross video like that you spam into my account. It's like, almost like I need to like end those accounts altogether just to stay away from that stuff. And so different versions of yourself that are living out different lives and so forth.
And so, when I found this out, I'm just like, well, why? Why do we do this? Why do we have to do something like that? And we choose to do that 'cause, like, what I'm aware of is 9 to 12. I don't know exactly who, where, what these people are doing, but there's 9 to 12 versions of me active right now in this lifetime, in this timeline. It's wild. But
Well,
why we do this is so that we can learn lessons because we need those lessons in order to advance in our other timelines and, you know, other timelines because time is not linear.
yeah. Well, I guess when I had gone to those the information that came out of my Israel experience is that everything is happening all at the same time. The end has already happened, and the beginning has happened, and then the middle is playing out, and so there is a sense of this linear playing out, but maybe it's all wrapped up into like this, like a spear of concentric circles and things like that, and it's all going on at once.
Mhm.
And maybe it lends to those theories that the universe is actually in a super black hole, and it was created in a super black hole, and that there's multiple of these universes going on at the same time, and so that it's all in this place of like these big doorways. And so I mean that's that, thinking of, but it's also like my mind comes to the whole, we have that whole matrix thought lines, and where, but it's not just the matrix. And I thought about this too, but I don't I mean it has a lot of implications. We have lessons to learn, or is this just a big playground and you're just going on an amusement park ride? And so this one is the this one is the boring one, the gentle roller coaster, but that other one that you're on at the same time is the big thrill ride. The
Mhm.
big thrill ride, and
You know, um there's portals all over. And
Mhm.
there's major one in Alaska, there's a major one in Antarctica, and then there's multiple portals everywhere. Like you can create a portal. There's like portals on the other side of the moon, you know, like
And so these are like the pathways, the stargates that the UFOs come through.
well, I've had an experience with them, and I had a portal basically open up right next to me, and aliens mentally talk to me. So it was
Hmm.
weird. But I'm like, okay, this is new. Um so yeah, they do come through portals. Like their ships can be portals. Um I think they were more like remote viewing. It's kind of weird, but that they can do that.
Hmm.
I don't know, you lost me.
Yeah. Well, there's some other people who look just like me. Ezra Pound is a guy that looks just like me.
Hmm.
When I was younger, because I remember I was working at the this door store in Seattle, and one of my coworkers came up with this picture, and he says, "Hey, Bill." He looks at this picture. He says, Look, there's you. This is you." And Ezra Pound, was a poet, and I think he was also a Nazi. He was a Nazi too. He was a an American Nazi, and maybe weren't supposed to say those words out loud, but that was kind of who he was. Kind of like Charles Lindbergh was an American Nazi, and or part of that America First war movement in the 1930s. And but Ezra Pound, and then there was another one too. The guy who played Angel Eyes on The Good, Bad, and the Ugly also kind of looks like me. So I guess there's only so many times that you can just roll that genetic dice, and then there's the you get the another person pops out that looks exactly like you, and you go through the.
Well, I don't think I'm like Julie somewhere else. I probably have doppelgangers, but they don't necessarily have to be my like soul out there learning lessons.
I see. So the doppelgangers aren't necessarily they're not necessarily different versions of yourself.
Not
'Cause that was that
necessarily,
was
no.
that was kind of what I was wondering, maybe if the doppelgangers were, and
So, going back to the remote viewing and this conversation kind of reminded me of this. I had somebody on my podcast, and I was playing. I had him on to do like experiments basically. So he was a willing participant. It wasn't like he didn't know what was going on, but because I was doing healing on him. And so this guy has these experiences. I can't remember exactly. So I tapped into it, followed his energy, and I'm like, oh my God, he's right. This is really going on. He like suspected all this stuff. And I'm like, I confirmed it all for him because what he is doing is like his soul was going like back in time, coming back to this body. Like he had like different versions, like soul versions of himself. And then he was going to the future, and he was like, he did some stuff. He was like in the Navy, and he was telling me he had like, I'm like, did you do this? Did you do this when you were in the Navy? He's like, yeah. Oh my God. And I'm like, you took whatever you got from that and you took it to the future. Because,
hmm,
like, what's interesting, because, like, in his different lifetimes, he was, um, like, in the Navy. He had, like, naval, and it's not just naval, it was, navigating. He was a navigator. And he also has like another reality. He's like a pilot, like a navigator in the alien ship too.
hmm, huh.
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Zipping around in different timelines and seeing things. Because so is that like let's say the experience? Because I've had this experience. It's been a while since I've had it, but during that time, there are other people that I had in my life that or in my life that had similar types of experiences. Is like I went out, I woke up in the morning, and everything seemed brand new, but yet at the same time not brand new. It was like I had slipped into a different timeline. Then the next day, I was
Hmm.
back into this one, but it was just like it was familiar, but yet it was brand new. And then so like one of my friends, she had this experience. She went to work, and it lasted like a week, and everything it felt like it was brand new, and like she this is the first time she's seen everything, but yet everybody around there are interacting as if it wasn't, and it was just like it was it was just like waking up every day into a brand new world and not really understanding why. And then also during that same time period, I had like a dream of my sister and my brother-in-law, where my brother-in-law was a nice guy and not a bully like he is. And then so of course I told my sister that. She said, I wish he was that person now, but it's like but anyways, uh hopefully he'll never see this. Okay, he doesn't like my me anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And um but yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he's teaching you a lesson, and you're teaching him a lesson somehow. So just
Yeah.
chalk it up to that.
Well, yeah, but that was kind of interesting. It was just like it was like, oh yeah, I bet there are different in different versions and different you're in different timelines and different versions of yourself in the same similar situations, and there was the nice version of yourself and the mean version of yourself.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, I just like exploring, like doing these different things to have different experiences because you gain knowledge from it. Like if I didn't do that with that guy, I wouldn't have had that experience because nobody else is coming to me and going, "Do I do this?" Like he did. I'm like, "Yeah." And what you're doing, the key thing here, what he was doing was he was actually getting information. He was
hmm
he was transferring information from one thing to the next thing.
one place to the next place.
Yeah, and like he even had like this thing in the future was very futuristic, and it was a ship. So he took something from his Navy ship and he took it to the future.
I see.
He took this information to the future
Hmm.
from this lifetime. I It's tripping. Like I can't explain it. I don't have enough information to like.
So was you as a now Maria has asked if she wonders if she has ever had anyone, if anyone looks like her. I'm sure there is, because I
Oh
was like
yeah.
saying, that my even my mother has seen some doppelgangers of herself walking down the
Mhm.
street that looked exactly like her. And like and that friend I was talking about was also up in Seattle, and she had an experience where she saw a photograph of someone who looked exactly like her. It was in like and having like almost the same kinds of things going on, and engage, and so forth. Welcome, Mama Sushi. And but yeah, yeah. And so because like I say, you can only roll those genetic dice so many times before the same values pop up again, because like I've seen it that a lot of times, especially like when I was up in Seattle, and I seen different versions of the same individual, um like from even different ethnic backgrounds, where they look like, okay, so here's a person who's the brown version of this other person, and they just look exactly the same except the skin color, and the facial features, and even like the sound of the voice, everything looked exactly. it was exactly the same except for that. And that was kind of just kind of a bizarre type of situation too. And but yeah, anyways. So with the
Interesting.
remote viewing, and so how do you get the information? How do you see it? Is it like you see it like in pictures, or is
So
it?
I personally like everybody has psychic abilities, right? And so mine, okay, taste and smell aren't like my biggest like abilities. Like those are like null or void. I've had stuff come up, but it's just like I understand that people can use them for good things, but anyways, I see a lot of visions. So like when I'm doing mediumship, they show me pictures. They show me pictures like charades. And so when I do remote viewing and I feel things. So I feel the
Mhm.
energy and I sense the energy. So like I can do the psychometry, so I can touch something and I can get energy and get a story off of it. And um, so I can do that when I see something too. So
Hmm.
if I see like a haunted object or object that has energy on it, I can read it visually, the energy on it, and get a story off of it. So those things combined, and probably a couple things I left out combined, I use those abilities to um, remote view.
I
And
see.
don't tell me how I do it. It's just like um, when I do like mediumship for somebody, I hop and skip. It's really weird because like after I had that first experience doing remote viewing, I realized that when I talked on the phone to people, I had been doing this for a very long time and didn't know I was doing it. Is that I would be in my head going laying out their floor plan of their house, and I was in their house when I was talking to them. So this is kind of like telephone for me. Like I just sent out the energy and follow the energy.
Yeah,
Like I don't need coordinates. Like coordinates would like totally throw me off. It'd be like, what the hell are you talking about coordinates?
I see.
I don't operate that way. And
So
so
then, so do you because you work in real estate, right? Or you still work in real estate, or you used
yeah,
to?
I used to.
So did you use this in order to help gain an advantage to close a sale out, or?
No, I wasn't doing it then.
Oh, I see. So that came afterwards.
Well, it's kind of funny because, like, the first house I went to sell, I had under contract. Let's put it that way. The first house I had under contract, I went to go do a visual inspection, and I don't see things with my visual eyes, like psychically. I see them with my third eye. And so, or I feel them or I sense them, right? So
Mhm.
I go to this house to do this agent visual inspection. I'm by myself and I'm like, son of a bitch. There's freaking ghosts here, man.
I see.
And like, I'm just like, how do I report that? I'm not gonna say a damn thing and not gonna say anything. I think the deal closed in March. By August, my buyer's like, yeah, uh, we've like, he didn't know how to approach me. He's like, we have stuff missing and we keep seeing shadows, and it's not just me, it's all three of us. So he's
Mhm.
like, he wanted me to go like call the seller because the seller the seller's agent, not the seller, the seller's agent, because he had other listings right next door, and he wanted the the listing agent to go talk to like these sellers to see if anybody died in that house. And like no one died in the house. It was just like these ghosts. There were some shadow people. That's what they were. There was three of them.
They just sort of moved in. They're sort of squatting in that property. Is that what they were doing?
They had been there for a long time.
I see.
And I wasn't gonna go, hey, I knew you had crap in your house when I sold it to you. Like, there's like no way to tell. Like, legally, like, we did everything we had to do. Like, how am I qualified to tell them that they got ghosts?
Yeah,
you know, because at that point, I hadn't developed my skills.
I see.
That was just like I knew because from the age of 6, I was like, I had that spidey sense, like there's stuff in here.
Hmm. So this all started when you were a little kid,
Mhm.
but you didn't really you suppressed that, you pretended it wasn't there, or maybe when you talked about it, your folks said that it was all in your head, or
I
something like
didn't
that.
say shit to anybody. I was freaked out. I was just like, I should just keep my mouth shut. Like my brothers didn't understand. Like no one else is gonna understand this. I had to wait. I was up all night long. I did not sleep. I did not sleep. I'm like telling my brothers, I'm waiting for them to wake up. The sun's up. Okay, I can talk to them now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had like an experience. Well, this was one of my nieces. One of my nieces, I swear, is like a character out of Northern Exposure. Maggie. Did you watch Northern Exposure? And there was
Hmm.
Maggie, and every man that Maggie was with ended up dying in some way. Well, this niece of mine has happened to her like twice now, and then the last time person it happened with, it was like, okay, I knew that there was like a ghost around. I was trying to like film a video, and I kept on being bothered, because it's like, um, I do those tools of fortune readings a lot of times in the late night because I get better information after midnight than I do during the daytime.
Mm.
And it's more, there's more connectivity. So like it seems like when I'm at after midnight, everything seems to be a little bit wilder as far as that is concerned, and anyways, but so I have on one of the videos that I recorded, at the same time that I said a word, I heard another voice say that word too. And it was on pretty much on the night that guy died, or right around that time. And then um he was like, "Okay, spirit, please go away. I'm trying to concentrate on doing this task here, and you're distracting me. If you want to come and talk to me, that's fine. But come in the middle of the afternoon when I'm mowing the lawn." They don't seem to come in the afternoon when you're mowing the lawn. Um, that's maybe they do for you, but not for me, or because most of the times it's like, okay, go away, because I don't really want to be haunted or anything. And but then it was like another time night it was, and then I thought, because he was like being very insistent and said, please tell this person I'm sorry. Please tell them that I love them. please tell them. And so I sent a text to the person at that exact time. And then I asked, was that person's funeral that day? Because after that, it was like that was the day their funeral was. And that was like the last time, they were, so it's like, and then there was like someone else who passed away, and it was on the day of their funeral. And then I just heard the words, it was, please tell them I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then it was like, it was very insistent. Very insistent. Please tell them I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I've had experiences.
Yeah.
I was like, what? This friend, he passed away. It was like crazy, crazy. A couple years before he passed away, I had gone to Texas, or I was like, not even at that point. I was talking to my childhood friend, um, and I was working with this guy that he's a childhood friend of my brother's, and I was trying to help him buy a house because I was a realtor then. And I'm like, don't you guys remember each other? You guys lived on the same street. Like there was a house in between you, and you lived there for over a decade and you don't remember each other. I'm just like, what? I'm how do you not remember these people?
Hmm.
Right? So a few years later, he had gotten sick. He had gotten cancer. And we were still talking, and um he passed away. And my other friend, who she consequently a few years after that passed away, but she was still alive at this point. And I'm like, oh, I need to go online and like wish her a happy birthday on Facebook. And I hear this like, and I
Hmm.
know it's him. He's like, hey, MFR, it's my birthday too. I'm like, what?
Hmm.
I had to go look, and I'm like, sure enough, it was his birthday too.
Oh,
And so I'm like, okay, it's your birthday too. I didn't know you guys had the same birthday. So that was crazy.
yeah. It's kind of interesting.
Then my other friend died like last year, and I live in her house. And apparently, she, I don't feel this, but I sense that at some point she gotten in my body. So I don't do trans medium. I'm not down for that. Um, I I want to be in control. This is my suit, not
Yeah.
yours. So she gets in my body to cook. That's what she does.
So it's kind of like a walk in, or just walking in and out. And because I kind of sense that kind of stuff happens, and which makes me think is why did I do that, which is something totally out of character. And I'm thinking, well, did somebody just walk in and wanted to experience something for a moment and then walk out again? Was that something that happened? And you know, because like there was this person who I was thinking maybe the person was like a soulmate issue, but then I was just wondering if that person wasn't a soul, was not like the same, like a same soul thing where um when I got around her presence, I started just to visibly shake, and I couldn't talk when I was around her, because maybe it was like I was like super attracted to the person. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's all it was. But nothing ever happened out of it because I couldn't seem to talk. It was like you either had a continual shoe in your mouth, or your foot was in your mouth all the time you're around that person. But I had experiences with this person where I was sitting down at a restaurant having a meal, and the next thing you know, that person was right there, and then they were gone. And it was just like they weren't dead or anything; they were still very much alive, and that and so forth. And or it was like in the shower, and then that person was there. And so there was like a period of like 6 months or so where I was having those types of experience with this person who I was not able to actually physically connect to because of my nervousness or anxiety or the fact that I'd get close to this person and I'd be shaking like that. And it would be we come within a half a block of that person, and I would have these very strong experiences, and I didn't wasn't quite sure what that was. I think whether that was a soulmate or was that a something else or
It could be a soulmate, but a soulmate doesn't have to be a romantic interest.
yeah, yeah.
But I've had an experience like that. Um and I'm just like, what the heck just happened? Like actually holding hands with somebody and having like, I was just like, this is so weird.
Well, there's also one of my friends who we are really good friends. The fabled witch, welcome. Christopher, welcome. And we kind of dated for a little while, but like when I kissed her, I felt like I was kissing my sister.
Hmm.
And it was just like and of course when I told her that, it was really crushing, but I said I'm sorry, I can't. Yeah, we have all these commonalities and we like hanging out together, but it was like that was what the experience was. Um and I couldn't go on in a romantic way with this person. Now she's still in my life. I think she got married like 3 times, but this third husband has stuck for the longest amount of time. And um, well, but but that was kind of an interesting experience, and maybe that was kind of that. Oh, his cat had babies, Christopher Farley. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyways, but yeah, those are kind of interesting things. So soulmates don't necessarily mean people because I kind of thought that too, that where it would be like not necessarily does a soulmate mean a romantic attachment, but maybe sometimes it is for a short time, and it ends up in a very dramatic heartbreak that lasts 10 years or something like that.
Yeah, I can. I had one of those, so it's
Yeah,
over. I'm done with that. I'm done.
yeah. Well, because now you had your. I didn't get a chance to go through all of your book. You have this book, Master in the Making, and now I did notice that it was kind of spicy. I wasn't expecting it to be as spicy as that.
Spicy.
And so
I'm
I think
spicy, Bill.
what was that?
You don't know me to be spicy? Come on.
Yeah, it seemed a little on the spicy side. At least the first chapter. The last chapter, not so much. I kind of went and I was gonna see how I was gonna but maybe another time, you know, I go through your book, and because you have a lot of experiences in there because you were having an experience with a soulmate person when you were with someone else in marriage, and so and
Yeah, this is all planned. It's all planned.
yeah.
Like my ex-husband's dad, so my late father-in-law, is on the other side helping me. How about them apples?
Hmm. Yeah,
Hi, Selena.
yeah. Welcome, Selena. Yeah. All right. So we got lots of stuff going on here. This has been kind of interesting. Been an interesting day on the hottest day of the year in Oregon anyway, which feels quite like an oven. But you're in California, so it's always like an oven down there, right? For the most part.
Yeah, I'm in the Central Valley. It's like I swear it's like 20 degrees hotter here in the last 2 decades. It's like insane.
Yeah.
It's over 100 degrees here.
Mm. Yeah, it feels pretty warm here. And then it was just like uh with my mom who's like 85, she oftentimes ends up turning the heat on these hot days, and so it's like, okay, you wake up and you go outside to cool off, and I think it's 100 degrees outside, but you got to go outside to cool off, and it's like, oh Jesus. And you got to turn the air conditioning on. And, oh God, it's hot in here, Mom. And she's like, under, whatever. But I guess that's something we have to look forward to. If we get that opportunity to live that long, we get to experience being cold in 100-degree weather too. It'd be just like that Saturday Night Live. There was a Saturday Night Live commercial. It was just about this very same thing. It and guy. It was about the one of those Amazon products where you talk into it and it does things. He's like turning up the heat, and then, oh, you got to turn up the heat, or it had a filter on it to accommodate elderly people because of how elderly people are technologically challenged, and
Mhm.
so no, it'll answer to all these different names too. you know.
Oh yeah, you brought back memories of my grandfather changing the freaking temperature. It's like, why is why are there icicles on my grandmother?
Yeah,
Why is it so hot in here?
yeah,
You,
yeah,
you just see an arm go around from the hallway into the other room to change the temperature. It's like, we had to put a lock on it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what the house is. I got the air conditioning is on right now, but it's not on in this room. I have a window open and a window open. I get a little bit of a cross breeze, but it's still really hot. Still really hot. Anyways, we're up to about the hour mark here, and it almost seems like we're kind of a little bit played out here, and so I really appreciate you being on the channel here, and we're talking about these fun topics here, and so if you do restart your channel, you might consider getting yourself a phone holder.
Yeah.
And because just to tell you that the vertical live streaming mode is the one that's the most accessed by the most amount of people, and that's why I use it, though I do like the other version better. I do tell you, I do like watching it on computer. I like watching it on on the wide screen, but the only people who watch it on the widescreen are people who are old like us, and or
Well,
or 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 they are gamers,
mm,
the gamers, and that's why you if you do the widescreen, and if you ever end up getting a lot of trolls coming in, what you're getting a lot of gamers coming in, and you're getting those gamers coming in, and we had a few gamers come in as when we turned this stream on. There were a few that came in because I could tell by their comments that they were gamers, or they're whatever they were. It didn't matter. But and it's the summertime also, and this is when you get you get all the kids that are you get all the kids. You get all the, and then all those kid views, they kind of vanish in around September, and yeah,
They went back to school this week.
they went back to school this week, and then yeah, yeah. Did they go back to school already?
Hmm. Bill, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Been a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, Mama Sushi, they are allowed on regular YouTube, but when I think of kids, I'm thinking of people who are probably like under 30 years of age, and who are younger than me, and and exhibiting those kid-like behaviors. I mean, of course, when they come on and they say, "Oh, I'm so and so," and it makes me. And I think, well, then you shouldn't be here if you're, which they're not that old, but I don't know. You're right. They're not supposed to be on regular YouTube, and I think that the newer technologies that they're rolling out soon is about with having age verification. Of course, I had to do age verification to get this channel anyway. Especially when the Tools of Fortune channel, I had to do all of those things like take a picture of my driver's license and do all of that stuff in order to even um yeah, and that's right. There are some people who use their parents' accounts because I had this experience too last year a lot where there was like a family account, and because that same account uh subbed to my channel like 10 times. And it was just like, okay, well, one person would be watching it under that account and they would sub to the channel, but then another person would be coming on and they look at it and say, what is this crap that I'm watching? And they would unsub. And then next thing you know, somebody else would get on there and then it's sub again. And then it was unsub. And then that went like 10 times. And it was like some account out of Poland. I think I because I used to would interact with them. It was somebody out of Poland, and and as also was this time where because YouTube has this, it has a way of whittling away at your ego because you have at least this has been my experience with YouTube because I'm going into my fourth year on this channel, and because you start something out and you think that you're hot but you're really not, you're just like everyone else, and so you're just like everybody else, and but then you still got this ego thing going on, and the YouTube has this way of whittling away at that thing. And so where I was going with it is that I was doing content which I did not want children to be looking at, but then they were looking at. And so what had happened in this experience is that I stopped doing that type of content altogether. So like the first year I was doing a lot of short form content, and just to roll out to get the I think it was like the when I started doing a lot mostly short form content, and I got like I think like 200 subs in a couple months doing it. And but when you do like the South Park content, like stuff, that kind of humor, or you do that kind of humor from like The Simpsons or something like that, well, it flies for a certain audience, but then there's a whole other audience that it doesn't. And so that was where I would be doing too many different types of content types, and you would get like, okay, one person in the family thought the stuff was funny, but the other person thought, no, this is terrible. And so they'd be unsub, and that would be always this continual thing. And so that was what I thought was so interesting. And
So,
anyways,
so you in the chat, if you're not subscribed to me and you think I'm spicy and you like spicy, subscribe to my channel at
that,
Spiritual Alchemy Energy.
that's
Please.
right. There is
It's free.
there's a link, and there's a link that I have a pinned comment in there, and you can go to Julianne's channel, and she's going to start doing videos again. She's going to get herself a phone holder so she can, and then maybe a selfie stick or something like that. She can go
No,
out
I'm
and
doing it.
around and do
I'm
a
doing
five,
it for my
do the
laptop.
and
I'm
do your
doing it for my
5G live
laptop.
streams and everything else. Or she's going to do what she's going to do. What she's going to do. Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna do.
yeah.
I don't have like I haven't had guests on my show in a while, so I don't know. I'm just gonna hang out for a little while and see what happens.
And so, because the last video that you have posted, you did have a guest, and you were talking about channeling and those kinds of things. Yes, let me just show you here. Um,
That's okay.
um, if we go to
He's like, I've got evidence.
yes,
Bill's got he's got the
it was
evidence.
10 months ago. Um, this video here is the very last one that you did on your channel 10 months ago with some lady. It's like the title on is Where Did Humanity Go Wrong? Well, I think humanity went wrong along.
That's from like a long time ago. That video I posted a year ago, but that video is from 2021.
Oh, so it's a long time ago. Well, I think that humanity went wrong a long time ago. Maybe it went wrong from the get go.
So just so you know the context of that, that was like I was doing Akashic Records reading um class, and she was my teacher, and we were simultaneously doing um she was verifying my answers. We were like doing the same channel at the same time.
I see. So channeling the same entity at the same time.
Not entity, information.
Oh, the information. I see. So channeling the information.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we were doing Akashic Records. Akashic Records are energetic records.
I see. I remember when I first ran across that word Akashic records, and I thought it was like some physical thing you could. It was on that in that book, Shirley MacLaine's book, Out on a Limb, which kind of was like my first introduction to this type of stuff to a certain degree. And this Akashic record was referenced in it, and I was like going into the library, going through the card catalog, looking for Akashic records and stuff like that. Because the way it was described, it was kind of described like that, and and yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
It's crazy because when I open the Akashic Records, I end up in it's really strange. Like I'm sitting in the throne. I have a throne. Let's see if this works. Um, hold on. My phone's gonna die.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah. It's Spiritual Alchemy Energy, the podcast with Julie. Yeah. If you search for that, it'll come up.
Okay.
It should come up. If it doesn't come up, we got issues.
All right. So there was that. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I went wrong from the beginning. I've been wrong for a long time. It's like, like not been able to fit into any particular mythological structure because I always had these other ideas, and so
Um, I was just thinking that video too. That video we were channeling like part of my book because this is part of like thank you, Selena. Um, that was part of my book because um it got weird and that's why I had to shelf it. I had to shelf the book because I'm just like this was too far out there and but we were getting this information from it. Anyways, that's what that's about.
I see. I see. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. And I wanted to thank the Fabled Witch, Tapestry of the Unseen, Mama Sushi, Fabled Witch, Maria, John from
Thank
Canada,
you. Thank you.
um, Essence of the Moon. I thought I saw the More Intuitive Me here. Christopher Farley, going back through the chat, and yeah, we got and we got Tapestry of the Unseen, and Fatima,
Thank you all for showing up.
Angie Burke,
And thank you, Bill.
and with the door at 3 a.m. And then there was the person's message I had to delete. Even them, I thank you for coming in for a minute or two or three or more
71 minutes.
or 71 minutes. And actually, it's at 11122 right now. And I probably will do a Tools of Fortune video live a little bit later today, though I'm going someplace tomorrow, so I'm not going to stay up all night and do card readings, but nevertheless, we will see what happens.
Okay, Bill. Sometime in the future, maybe I'll have you on my show.
All
I
righty.
just, I just don't really. I kind of know what I want to do on my show when I come back, but I'm just. It's just going to be a mess. I'm just going to sling stuff and like, because I did so much structured before. It's just easier for me to just jump on and go. This is what we're doing tonight.
Well, I kind of do things these days. I've been doing things by the seat of my pants. I'm, you know, just and thinking, oh, well, I need to, like, okay, because last year in the month of August, I got like, I think 250 watch hours. And so I'm going to be losing all of that time this month. And so I've been going on every day with some BS every day just to maintain some of those watch hours. And so I've been exactly at the exact same watch hour spot now as I was in like May. And it's just because because you're on a 365-day period for your watch hour, and so you
Yeah.
accumulate that, and so every day that's outside of that is that time drops off. So something from 365 days ago, that time that you did it drops off, and then it just kind of the window just moves and it moves and
Right.
it moves, and so
Yeah, I really didn't know if I was coming back or not. When I was doing this, I was doing StreamYard and I was streaming to 8 different platforms. So it wasn't just YouTube. I was doing Facebook, I was doing multiple Facebook pages, I was doing LinkedIn, I was doing Twitch. God, I can't remember where else I was doing. I
yeah,
I was everywhere.
I'd like to do multi-streaming too on different, but I haven't really done it yet because I don't have an income, so I can't justify spending that
Mhm.
fee on
Right.
a streaming
Right.
platform, and so it's like that's why okay, I could use a free one, but with the free one you can't simulcast to other platforms.
Right. And then
And
I was also doing like audio. So I was taking my audio from StreamYard and I was uploading it to Buzzsprout.
I
So
see.
I I was I had an audio cast that way. So I was like on Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify. I was
Hmm.
like on all these different channels. So
Yeah. Yeah, I know where what I wanted to go is more further into the talk on this channel because I'm going into I'm completing the third year of this channel and on September 9th. And the first video I uploaded was on September 9th at 9 p.m. So, and that
well,
was
I was
4 years ago.
you're the 999 show and I'm the 999 girl. because I was born 1969. So there you go.
Yeah, 1969. I was born in 68. I probably shouldn't say that, but I anyway.
Oh man, you're an old man.
I am an old man. I am.
I'm,
I am.
I'm just an
I mean
old
that's why
lady.
I didn't
Come
realize
on.
that when I was like in my 40s, I didn't realize that my dad had hair loss because he always wore a hat. And until one time I saw him without a hat on, like a year before he passed away, and I thought, oh crap, he's half bald, huh? Except for around there.
Well, Bill, I need to go. My phone's like down to 10%. So
All
it's
right, I got to go too. Cause it's probably time for me to start making dinner for mom and the dog. I would like to go jump in the swimming pool first, and I was trying to get things to work. Like I really wanted this this tool to work, but it doesn't, and that way would have allowed me to use a microphone and a pair of headphones at the same time. I have I have a lot of pieces of a different equipment, but it's like there are missing pieces in order to do things differently. But one of the things I want to do in the future is to do a call-in show, because I
mm-hmm.
think that call-in content and go more heavily into raw unedited content, because it's vastly different than what AI produces, and you know. Anyway, that's this neither here nor there. Your phone is about ready to die, and so when I click the off button here, it just goes out. There's no extra backstage, and so that's the way it is. And so we'll see you later. Thank you very much, Julianne, and we'll see you in the chat for another one. And then if you do happen to get yourself a phone holder, then you can do maybe, and if you want to do a paid off or something like that. And no phone
I have an
holder.
alternate solution, Bill, and it's
All
not the
right.
phone. So, thank you so much.
All right. All right. Bye bye.
Have a good one.
And thank you very much.
Bye.
Yeah.